Alright guys, welcome back. So here's the third episode of our series. Just to clarify guys, we are dealing with problems of the top interview 150 of the LeetCode website. Alright, so given an integer array nums sorted in non-decreasing order, remove some duplicates in place, such that each unique element appears at most twice. Okay, so this is very similar to the one we were dealing with last time. The only is because we also have an array nums which is already sorted in non-decreasing order, but we're not removing duplicates in place such that the values are unique, but we want unique elements to appear at most twice. So the relative order of the elements should be kept the same. Okay, sure, absolutely. We want still nums to be non-decreasing. Is that what you mean? Probably, yeah. Since it is impossible to change the length of the array in some languages, you must instead have the result be placed in the first part of the array, nums. More informally, if there are key elements after removing the duplicates, then the first key elements of nums should hold the final result. It does not matter what you leave beyond the first key elements. Okay, same setup as the previous problems. Return key after placing the final result in the first key slots of nums. Do not allocate extra space for another array. You must do this by modifying the input array in place with O1 extra memory. I see. All right, so we want to modify nums in place. All right. So we need an approach very similar to the previous one. So we want to return k, which is the number of elements that are in the final array. So we initialize key 0 as always, and we know that we want to return key. And then, of course, we want to do a for loop as always. So for value in nums, we want something to happen. We need to check if this value is different from nums. Okay, and this is the problem, guys, because we want the result to appear at most twice, which makes me think about this, but I don't know exactly if I'm doing this correctly. So the idea is if the value is different from nums, let's start with key equal to 1 for the same problem as always. Well, actually, I think at this point we should start with key equal to 2. And if value is different from nums key minus 1, or the value is different from key minus 2, because we want the numbers key minus 1 and key minus 2 to be the same number, and we want value to be equal to those numbers to exclude it. So if these conditions are either 1 or 2 are satisfied, then we want nums of key to be equal to value. If instead this is not true, we do nothing, and we can just say that key plus equal 1, and then we return key. Guys, I have really, to be honest, I don't know if this will work. I don't know, it was just out of a gut feeling, and guys, it works. I don't know how I did it, but I'm super happy that we solved it super quickly. Yeah, basically what we can say from the last 3 exercises that we dealt with is basically that the key when we need to remove duplicates is basically always the same. We take a number, we start with key equal to a number, and then we add key each time that we get a non-duplicate. So let's submit it. Okay, we've got a runtime error. Let's see what happened. That if value is, let's see that key arrives at a big value, which is, let's say, 4. This should not be a problem, but if value is different from key minus 1 or value is different from key minus 2, we can store this new value, yeah. Okay, so I really think we should put here something like this, because we don't want to iterate on values, and maybe this is what values that are already considered as part of the final array. So maybe this is the problem. Let's try. So this is going correctly, and this is correct. Yeah. The problem was we need to start with nums from two dots. And this makes me think that last time, the last video, we didn't click on submit, which is a big problem because we didn't test the problem last time. So let's try to do that this time at this point. So let's try to see if with submission it works. This was the problem we worked with last time. Yes, it works. So there was no problem with the last solution, but still we had to check it. All right, guys, so thank you very much for joining me in this video, and see you in the next video.